Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining our Digital Supplier Network walkthrough webinar today. We have Akansha with us, associate partner of the Middle East and Africa. She is also a consultant. We have Meninder, who is a senior consultant as well, and myself, head of business development and communications. So first, a little bit about Brainbox. We were established in 2018. We have worked for top companies that are listed on AEX, DAX 30, and more. Our focus areas are SAP Ariba and source to pay implementations, and we're also based in the Netherlands. We have an average yearly experience of 8 years. We have multiple SAP Ariba certifications, and we have done over 16 SAP Ariba full implementations. So today, we're going to be talking about one of our package solutions, which is the Digital Supplier Network. We'll be walking you through that. As Brainbox Consulting, we offer various package solutions, such as full implementation, our Snap package, and most recently, our sourcing as a service package. On our agenda today, we will be going through the business pain points that the Digital Supplier Network solves. We will be talking about overcoming challenges with SAP Ariba. We'll walk you through DSN and how it works, totally all the way through to a demo. We'll be talking about why you should adopt digital collaboration with suppliers and how that can improve your processes. Then we'll go into implementation methodology, supplier enablement, and then our DSN offering. And lastly, we'll close it off with a Q&A. So during this entire session, please note that the session is recorded and we will share this with our audience and interested participants. And throughout the duration of this video, you can use the Q&A box to drop any questions, which we will address at the end of this series. So let's get started, and I'll pass the mic to Akansha, who will take us through the agenda.
Thank you, Bridget, for the brief.
Thanks.
And hi, everybody. Thank you for taking out your time today to join us in the webinar. And as Bridget detailed, today we plan to connect with you all to discuss SAP Digital Supplier Network, that's DSN, its capabilities and our service offering for the same. So to start with, I want you to take you through the business pain points that DSN aims to resolve. Now, as we all know that most of the small and medium scale companies transact purchasing documents with their supplier in a traditional way. So when I say traditional way, they use either email, either phone or fax for transacting documents like purchase order, good receipts, invoices, etc. And all these methods actually leads to a lot of concerns for CXOs. These all traditional way of procurement can make the whole purchasing process error prone and also time consuming. It definitely also leads to lesser visibility, both to the suppliers and to the buyer stakeholders as well. Now, if we look at all these concerns from the buyer end, the organization which are using, the buyers which are using traditional way of working, they definitely have lesser visibility on documents and they can struggle with issues which are mentioned here like missed discounts or additional charges as late payment fees as well. They also sometimes struggle paying duplicate invoices as well. So the whole process actually adds up an extra cost and definitely additional effort at buyer end to maintain the complete purchasing process. Similarly, if we try to see it from the supplier end, they also struggle with chasing or multiple reminders on the documents. So they have to do multiple follow-ups or do multiple reminders for invoice status, payment status, etc., etc. With lesser visibility, it sometimes leads not to fulfilling the orders on time or missing amendments, or sometimes missing the changes on the purchase order altogether. And this obviously add together to delays in delivery sometimes. So So in short, in this century, if the collaboration with suppliers is not digital, this can actually lead to a lot of concerns as depicted here. So all these issues can come up and it can definitely lead to reduced efficiency of work. Now, to overcome all these pain points or challenges faced by buyers as well as by suppliers, SAP Ariba has come up with a solution called Digital Supplier Network, that's DSN. The solution here utilizes the capabilities of Ariba network, and it aims to help improve collaboration as well as relationship between buyer and supplier. So if you see here, the DSN can actually act as a one-stop shop for all procurement communication between both parties, that is supplier and buyer. And it can actually make the whole procurement process fast, accurate, streamlined, and thus eventually lower in cost. So now moving forward, maybe let's discuss how DSN can achieve all these discussed objectives. So DSN introduces SAP Ariba supplier network to buying organizations. So buyer must have ECC, SAP ECC or SAP S4 HANA as their procurement system. And DSN will integrate their ECC or S4 HANA with the Ariba network capability. So it will work as a combination of both the systems here. So as a buyer, either if you already have S4 HANA or ECC, or if you are planning to move to S4 HANA from the ECC as your ERP, you already have the base architecture for DSN, which will add an additional layer of Ariba network capabilities for buyer collaboration, for supplier collaboration. Now you must be thinking what all Ariba network can bring to the table as an additional add-up. And so let me take you through the certain benefits of Ariba network as detailed here. So first of all, the Ariba network as a buyer organization with DSN, you will get an access to world's largest B2B platform to connect with your supplier and to perform business together. Also, it will provide an additional possible extension to international supplier base as well. To share some data points here, Ariba network actually hosts around 4.1 million companies on the network, and it also enables more than 490 million business commerce transactions per year. So you can imagine that with DSN, you can be part of this larger procurement community. Also, the Ariba network is a true cloud deployment, which makes it future-proof. So when I say future-proof, I mean, as a buying organization, you do not have to worry about any service pack upgrades or any future enhancements. All the future enhancements or the new features that would be coming up on the network will be taken care by SAP Ariba team in their quarterly service pack release. So that will eventually minimize a lot of efforts as a buyer at your end. Also, Ariba network provides smart business rules, which are definitely easy for configure and improves the business process altogether. So to give you some example here, so you all can relate maybe better, we can have rules such as enabling supply invoicing capability post good receipts only. So as a buyer, your team do not have to put additional efforts on manual document matching. So you do not have to put an effort on matching invoices purchase order. The business rules configured can take care of it. We can also have rules to verify duplicate invoice numbers. We can also configure rules to match invoice to purchase order. So the invoice does not exceed purchase order quantity or purchase order amount as well. We can have further additional rules around tax compliance as well. So to say maybe to make VAT number mandatory on your invoices before supplier submission. So all these rules actually can bring in a lot of compliance to your whole process. And there are more than 120 such rules available within Ariba network to make your process compliant and eventually provide you by more than 80% of touchless documents at your account payable team for processing purpose. So that's huge to say. Now the package here, the DSN, it's expendable as well. So the whole solution is a stepping stone, I would say. If required, it can easily be further extended to other Ariba solutions like supply chain collaboration or commerce automation as well. So as a buyer, if you wish to have additional features later in the future, like having supplier catalogs or forecasts, you can easily extend the present DSN solution to supply enablement, to supply chain collaboration or commerce automation as well. Also, the package here, it's not only buyer centric, but it also provides similar equal focus to suppliers as well. So the package here provides supplier with their own Ariba network account. So we call it supplier Ariba network account, and it's available to the supplier free of cost to join and to transact all procurement documents. Also a mobile application as shown here for you for reference. This is a UI of the mobile application, and it's also available to your supplier with no additional cost. So both personal network account and the mobile application aims to keep all your supplier up to date with transaction, and thus eventually would ensure the fulfillment of your orders and issues on time. So just to say, both supplier as well as buyer will have equal visibility and ease of work with DSN. Now moving forward, if you see here, the systems that are involved in DSN, it's all SAP based systems. So it's SAP S4 HANA, it's SAP ECC, and it's SAP Ariba Network. So these are all SAP based systems. So the native integration with CIG is also available, making it a frictionless entry. So when I say frictionless entry, as a buyer, you do not actually have to worry about additional interface cost or additional middleware cost altogether. DSN will maintain integration using Cloud Integration Gateway, that's CIG with DSN. Post the complete implementation, so post go live as well, both buyers as well as suppliers are supported by SAP Ariba support team for proper adoption of the package. So that's also been taken care by SAP Ariba team. Now, moving forward, let me take you to the scope of the offering. So the documents that come under the scope of DSN, if you see here, it's a purchase order, it's a order confirmation, it is ship notice, good receipts, and invoices. Now as a customer, you can start simple with just one document. So say just procure purchase order, collaboration with your supplier, or you can extend the solution to other document type as well. So you can have purchase order till good receipts or purchase order till invoices, and you can have it or extend it at your own pace and as per your business need. For business end users as well, there is no change management required. So as a buyer, you will be able to process your document as is So the process that you are following at present will be kept as is with DSN, and you can process all your document the same way you do it now in your SAP ECC or S4 HANA. The DSN will add this additional layer of Ariba network as we discussed, and it will give you the capability of sharing your documents across with the supplier. So when you create a purchase order on your ECC or S4 HANA, through Ariba network, it will be available to supplier network real time electronically. Also, as a supplier, you will have the option to either confirm the purchase order or to send an advance ship notice, and those activity are also notified back to the buyer on their ERP in real time. As a buyer, you can also do change order on the purchase orders, and all the changes are routed back or notified to the suppliers real time. So there's no possibility on missing any amendments on purchase order as well. Now, as a buyer, once you receive the goods, you do the goods received as is, the way you do it now on your SAP ECC or HANA, which is notified back to supplier on the network. Now, as I touched upon earlier, we can definitely have different business rules. So we can have business rules set up to enable supply invoicing once goods receipts has been notified. So as a supplier, once the goods receipt notice has been received at your end on your network, you can get a capability of raising an invoice, which is again sent back to buyer ERP in real time on the network. Now, as a buyer, it's all available with all the details with you on your ERP. You do not have to put effort on any data entry for invoicing, and you can review the invoice and release the payment. And this payment information is also sent back to the suppliers in the real time. So the whole process will eliminate any additional communication for status update or document status altogether. So I would say if you notice, the whole program is actually maintaining complete transparency and enhanced visibility, I would say, across the supply chain. Also, the business rules on Ariba network, as we touched upon, will further enhance the whole process with multiple checks for all these documents here. So, so collaborating digitally with supplier through DSN will definitely help you achieve all the discussed objectives. So yeah, you will achieve fast transaction, real-time transactions, and definitely streamline and accurate transaction with additional capabilities of business rules, etc., available with DSN. Now, moving forward, just to make you get the understanding of the complete system, let me take you to the system screen prints as well, so you all can relate better. As detailed earlier, as a buyer, you do not have to have any change management, so you can create your purchase requisition or purchase order as is on your SAP ECC or S4 HANA. So this particular screen print here is S4 HANA screen print, where PR is created in the same way that you do at present as well. So all you have to do is add the item details on the cart and create the requisition. Once the requisition is approved, or whatever business process you already have in your ECC or S4 HANA for purchase order creation, once the process is done, PR is converted to generate purchase order. And this purchase order is sent to the supplier. So the supplier which has been chosen for for the particular purchase order is notified with this purchase order details with help of the email address that you maintain for them as on your buyer end. So you just have to create the purchase request, purchase order is generated, and this purchase order is here sent to the supplier network. Now at the supplier end, there can be two options. So there can be an option that supplier is already registered on Ariba network, or there can be an option that supplier is not registered on Ariba network. So here we are showing a scenario of a supplier which is not yet registered. So for those kind of suppliers, you will get the purchase order routed to their email address. So as a buyer, you have to maintain the email address, and the purchase order is sent on their email address with all the details that you have fetched in on the purchase order. So you can see this is an email which is actually including all the purchase order information, and you have an option as a supplier to use process order option. So as a supplier, you will receive this email. You can definitely review all the purchase order details on the email, or you can use this option process order, which will route you to the Ariba network registration screen. So this is the layout of Ariba network registration screen. Here, if you see, you have to actually include very simple details. So your company information as well as the account information. So the email address of the individual who is maintaining the account. And with these simple details, you can simply register on the Ariba network. Now once you include all these details, you have to click register, and you will get an access to Ariba network, your individual Ariba network account, free of cost. Now this is the screen print of the Ariba network account that you will get as a part of collaborating with on the DSN. So this is a light account and this is the UI of the supply account that you will get. And as you can notice, the account will give you an additional options. So maybe to track all the documents under different options or different status. Also, it has an option of generating reports, etc. So this is the account that you will get free of cost. Also, for collaborating back with buyer, as we discussed earlier, these are the different options available. So this is the purchase order layout on your supplier Ariba network. So you have order details, order history, as well as additional payment details, billing details, delivery details, along with all the line items or the quantity which has been ordered at your end. So you have the all details quite handy and available real-time electronically on your Ariba network account. And to collaborate back to buyer, you can choose these different options highlighted here. So let's discuss each of the option maybe one by one, so you have the understanding. So as a buyer, if you wish to create order confirmation, you can use this option, create order confirmation, which will route you to the screen where you would be given additional different options as well. So we can create different business rules to give you options of either confirming the complete order. You will also have option to reject part of the order or to confirm as is with new conditions as well. So maybe you want to confirm the complete quantity, but you wish to use a new delivery date. So that kind of options are also available while you are confirming the purchase order. Now for creating ship notice, you can use this option, create ship notice, which will route you to additional shipping details option here. So this is the layout of creating ship notice, where you, as a supplier, you can include additional details like packing slip ID or additional tracking details like carrier name, tracking ID. And once you submit these details, these are actually routed back to buyer on their ERP, so they have the complete visibility. So they know that yes, the supplier has shipped which all items and what is the tracking number or tracking ID to track the particular goods. So it maintains quite a lot of visibility at both ends. Now the third option, as we mentioned, is to confer to create invoices. So now if you see, as when to create invoices, you have the option of flipping a PO. So you can, if I go back here, yeah, so this option, you can create invoice here. And Ariba network has a capability of copying all the required details from your purchase order to invoice as well. So we call it PO flip. And so on your invoices, you will have already pre-filled information that you require from your purchase order. So if I go back, yeah, here is the create invoice screen, and you can see that these all different information are pre-populated from your purchase order on your invoice. So that saves actually a lot of manual work or data entry at your end as well as a supplier. So you have the purchase order number for which you are creating the invoice. You also have the item details, uh, and you can just include the additional details which are actually required from invoicing perspective. So to say, invoice number, invoice date, tax information, and the quantity maybe that you wish to invoice if you are doing partial invoicing. Now, if you see, there are highlighted pointers as well. So highlighted details, these are all the business rules which are triggered before invoice submission. So to give you some example, maybe, so here the invoice number which is being used is already used by some other invoice. So the business rule has been triggered, showing that this particular invoice number is already used or it already exists. Also, if we do have business rules to make tax information mandatory, so as a supplier, if you have kept the tax information blank and your buyer needs that mandatorily, those business rules will also get triggered, and it will give you a visibility of what is expected out of the invoices upfront at your end before submission. So you know this is mandatory detail that has been missed out and is required. And similarly for quantity as well, it says that it is exceeded the purchase quantity limit. So you know that you are exceeding the quantity that should be invoiced. So these all business rules are comes quite handy for you upfront before submission. So you know that the document that you are submitting is compliant and definitely error free. So that's a huge help with all these business rules configured on your Ariba network account. So I think with all these screen prints and details, I believe you must now have a picture of system behavior and a picture of how easy, how fast, and maybe how compliant the complete process can be maintained with DSN. Now, to sum up all, these are the benefits of opting DSN for supplier collaboration. I've touched upon some already, so let me take you to these briefly. So with DSN, DSN will bring rapid return on investments. So it will increase cash flow by 4 to 6%. It can also improve invoicing and bring in additional opportunities of savings like discounts, etc. Also, it increased efficiency by 3 to 4% by digitization and automating complete procure to pay cycle. Additionally, as we discussed, it will increase your outreach as a buyer to global suppliers as well through Ariba network capabilities. Also, it provides additional features like multiple languages, multiple currencies as well. So to allow you to work together with a global supplier base. Now moving forward, let me introduce you all to our implementation methodology. So we follow SAP Activate methodology for implementation. Brainbox is offering a timeline of 3 to 9 weeks for implementation that will include building integration for requested documents, supplier enablement activities, functional consulting as well, and project management as well during the complete implementation period. The timeline here will vary based on the requested scope and the customer size. So to say maybe the supplier base to target on the implementation time, etc. So here, if you see, we start the implementation with onboarding the team. We create project plan and finalize the scope of work in the first phase, that's prepare phase. This is followed by designing the process. So we design the complete process of implementation. We build strategy for supplier onboarding, the flight plan, and the supplier enablement activities are taken care in the next phase. We call it explore phase, and which is followed by system configuration and setup. So we do integration, we do configure business rules. We also do initiate supplier communication in this phase. Post the complete setup, we also do provide client support on testing and validation for go live and the next realize phase. The whole process is followed by deploy phase. So here we prepare for cutover activities and we move the configuration post sign off to the production system. And we do also provide hypercare support for adoption. So post go live support is also included here for proper adoption by your team post the DSN implementation. Now as we discussed, setting up connection to Ariba network is definitely important. However, enabling and educating suppliers to bring the suppliers on the network is also as important for the solution or the complete DSN success. So as I detailed that our experts do support on supplier enablement and supplier strategy, supplier outreach strategy as well. Our team support in the end-to-end, as you can see, the end-to-end enablement process, I would say. So we start with building strategy for supplier communication and building strategy for supplier onboarding. We work closely with client team to identify the suppliers to target for enablement and to create flight plan for them. We also do hold supplier summits to communicate, to educate, or to invite suppliers for onboarding. We also do run tests and enable them for transactions. Also parallelly, we can assist client team in creating documents for training. So maybe creating training material for their team, for suppliers. We also can provide best practices and our learnings as well for the proper adoption of the complete program, that is DSN. Now to sum up all and our offering, these are the services that's included as part of DSN Brainbox DSN offering. So we do provide 3 to 9 weeks of implementation as detailed. Also, integration using CIG is included. Supplier enablement and enablement kit for adoption is also provided. We also do share our best practices, Ariba best practices, and our learning from our past experience as well. Also, we do provide project management during the complete implementation period. So these are the different services as included, and the whole service bundle is projected with the pricing of 14,000 to 41,000 euros, and that range will be dependent upon the business requirement. So it will be dependent upon your requirement and your scope of work. Also, our experts, so Brainbox experts, can also give extended support as detailed here. So they can give additional support post go live as well to business team. They can also do an additional supplier services. So maybe an additional supplier enablement for new region or supplier trainings as well. We can also support you on ERP and as well if required as a business need. So yeah, I believe I have touched upon all the details of DSN offering, and I would like to close here. And I hope you now all understand DSN offering is capabilities and our services and commercials. And thank you again for your time today. And I believe we have 20 minutes left with us. So let's open the floor for Q&A. I have my colleague Marinder with me as well, who is technical expert. So we will try to cover all your queries. However, my colleague Bridget will also share our coordinates where you can definitely reach back to us for detailed discussion. So yeah, thank you all, and over to you, Bridget. Thank you.
Hi, Concha, thanks. Can you pop up the last slide with our contact details? Great. So anyone who's watching right now, if you're located in the Middle East or Africa, feel free to contact Akansha directly at the email listed below or the number. You can also feel free to contact us via LinkedIn if that's easier for you. And if you're located in Europe or the Americas, feel free to shoot me an email at sales@brainbox.consulting or call the number listed.